then I found out that he had to find out who she is, and I stalked her, and I started looking at her, and I was like, wow, because this is what I know. I love to watch couples. Because of the industry I'm in, it's vital and critical. And because I watch how they interact together, if they're on the same page financially, who's a spender, who's a saver, who's a decision maker. And so one of my favorite things is to just watch couples. And so what I listen for is how the person talks about their partner when they're not around. And Mr. Jones, he doesn't know this, but I heard him talk about his partner like she walks on water. He just edified her so beautifully. And that to me, I said, I got to know this woman. And then I met her and she was fire. So this is a power couple that is fire and fire, which you don't see very often. It is one thing to be a power couple. There's usually one that's kind of the face, one that's the fire, and then the one that kind of helps to keep things not go awry. But they are fire and fire. So I'm just so excited to bring them to you because you're going to learn a lot, whether you are a power couple or you want to be a power couple, or you're just like me, a helpless romantic. I'm going to be a power couple. So this is why I'm going to take a lot of notes. So please give it up and welcome Mr. Jones, CEO, and Ms. Tara, CEO of Hello LLC. Welcome to Wealthy Wednesday, my favorite power couple.
Yay! Yeah, it's always a pleasure to be here with you. And thank you for sharing that I do talk good about you, baby, when she's not around. And, you know, when you say fire with fire, I couldn't agree with you more on that. She has her fire. I have my fire. You put us together and it can become well over.
It can be a bonfire.
Yeah, it can be a bonfire at times. And then we have to, you know, self-extinguish ourselves. But that's the great thing, you know, about being in a relationship and especially entrepreneurship, as you talked about, you know, and the relationship. And those are things that we just had conversations about how we have to be able to make sure those two things, you know, are separate and to make sure those two things have the each quality time, if not more so the relationship side than the business side, because without us, nothing works. And we came into this relationship and we made a pact that, hey, you know, if we started this business and it starts to get to the point to where, you know, it really start impacting our relationship, then we were going to have to make some, you know, some changes and some shifts. And boy, please believe there have been several of those conversations, but we understand the value. We understand, you know, what we're doing, and we understand that we're in this together as we move forward. So, you know, I'm just glad I'm on a journey with this one because I don't know if I could do it with anybody else, because it definitely takes two strong-minded and willing people to continue to go when we talk about entrepreneurship in itself. Right. Which is why I share with a lot of our customers that are single mothers, single grandmothers, you know, that they're doing everything, you know, from the rooter to the tutor, as well as running a family, especially with kids, which we don't have.
Negative. I love it. You know, I was going to jump in here, Miss Leah. First of all, thank you for holding this space. Thank you for what you do. Thank you for bringing the positivity. Thank you for bringing so much support to the channels that you show up to, you know, and the value and the contribution that you give back, because that really is what creates a community. So that way we can have these conversations, so that way we can help other people. You know, conversations, I will say, a lot of times we say, well, it might not really matter. And it really does, because there might be something that David and I say today that lands on your audience that is like something that you have been saying for the last, you know, 5 years or whatever it might be. It is just the way that when we have conversations and people articulate things, that is the beauty of, you know, you call us a power couple, but this is a power dynamic. You know, this is where we get to come together as a community and really be able to not only add value, but most people don't realize that when people come together like this, like Miss Leah and David and myself, we learn so much more by hosting a space than we, you know, just do by consuming a space. And so what I mean by that is being the hosts of this conversation and being the people that are going to have this conversation today, we will learn just as much as people on the other side of this. So thank you. Thank you for bringing the place together. And thank you for having us.
I totally agree. I always say the teacher learns the most.
Yeah.
And by the way, Miss Tara, yes, Mr. Jones does edify you, but when I met you and I was in a room, and you didn't know this, I was stalking you. I'm admitting it now, but I saw you two in a room together, and then I watched how you ebbed and flowed and just finished it off so perfectly, and also edified him. I said, man, this is a true power couple, because you both bring the fire, but at the same time, you are understanding that there's a time to be the fire and a time to hand it over. And neither one of you, what really resonates with me is that, and believe me, this all came through. You think, oh, it was just an audio event, we couldn't see you. Oh gosh, you can learn so much by listening to people. But really what I saw is that there's no ego in this relationship. And when it's a time to have Mr. Jones on the pedestal, you're fine with that. And then at the same time, he understands there's a time for the beautiful flower that you are to be on stage. And he allows that, and he just rejoices in that, because I truly believe, now you guys are going to see what a romantic I am. I truly believe that the right man brings out the most beautiful part of a woman.
Yeah.
I truly do. And when I saw you, and I'm not just talking about physical beauty, although Miss Tara, you are beautiful.
Thank
but
you.
I just mean in the way that you carry yourself, the way that you are able to be so confident in what you do, and you're confident by yourself. Anyway, see, the sirens are even going off for you. This is what I'm talking about.
They looking for her. You enter her name, they looking for her.
They're already.
She's trouble. That's
She's on fire.
Yeah, but I believe that a woman is truly able to be confident and know her worth when she has the right man. And that's just my belief. I know it's corny. I understand it. I totally get it. But I truly do. I've seen it over and over and over again, because at the same time, I have watched men or power woman. You could be a power woman individually too, right? I'm a power woman.
Yeah.
Right? So I've watched somebody who's in their power as a man, and then he brings in the woman that is not understanding that he's got to have these idiosyncrasies, that she wants to be the showcase, but really he's the face in the business, and there can be that struggle. And I've watched men truly burn and destroy their business having the right, not picking the right partner. So
Yes.
I want you to know that I truly, when I say you are my favorite couple, social media couple, I mean that. I've watched you two in many different areas. And so I love that. So I'd like to ask you a few questions, because I know it's not always rainbows and butterflies. Right?
What do you mean?
And although I am, I am channeling my inner butterfly for you here.
I love it.
And I've got my heart rocks and everything. I'm telling you, this is all about love today. So I'm just curious. I love that you said you made a pact with each other. Okay. You said, okay, if this starts to impact us on our relationship, then we're going to have to rethink this. So help me to kind of unpack for us a little bit when things maybe are going a little different, because things can happen in relationships where maybe we're having a little argument or something, and then we have to get on and we got to be there together. We got to show up on these audio events and stuff. So how do you two handle that? If you could kind of share some tips we're trying to learn. We want to learn from the best.
I'll jump in here first. So yes, it's not all sunshine and rainbows and butterflies, for sure. If we sat up here and said that it was, we would be lying, and that would be not of our love, kindness, and integrity, and commitment, morals that we have. Sorry, my eyes watered. And so it's not always sunshine and rainbows. But what I would say is, in the beginning, when you talk about David and I having an ebb and flow and being able to make space for each other, we had to learn each other's love language.
Right.
And when we both found out words of affirmation and, you know, being able to receive the glory or the credit or whatever is coming in at that moment, we realize that both of us need that space. And so if I need it and I know that he needs it and I know how good I feel when I get it, then that's only right for me to be able to create that space and vice versa. So it was real kind of easy once we understood what our love languages were, and understood why, you know, we would always be looking for like words of affirmation. Words of affirmation go a long ways for us. You know, you just the kind words that you say right now go really long ways for us. In addition, we talk about, you know, how do we continue to show up for the business and create value and hold space in our audio rooms if we might not be on the same page? That has taken work, and it is taking, first of all, integrity. And the reason why I say integrity is because in the past, you know, at the beginning of our business, if there was an upset, Tara was quick to say, you can run that room on your own and I won't show up. And that was Tara in her traumas and her patterns. And you've heard us like last week talk about a bit of that. But that was me and my traumas and my patterns where I isolate myself, I pull myself away. And once I started this, the reason our relationship works is because of ownership, of self-ownership, self-awareness of who one is being. I love this man. I want him to be, you know, do things the way I like to, as any woman would want. And, you know, this is how we are as women. But I can't control that. I can express in a communication that this works really well for me and this way does not work well for me. And then it is up to him to make the choice if he wants to do that. Now, a lot of times we are not in our relationships at a point where we have that self-respect for ourselves and for the other person. And the biggest thing that David and I have had to learn through our journey of 14 years of being together this May is the simple fact of we had to take ownership of our two thumbs. And so I can only control these two thumbs right here. Tara has these two thumbs, David has his two thumbs, and I can only do and I can take care of these, meaning if I'm out of line or if I'm doing something, then I need to be aware of that and I have to take ownership and reinstate my integrity and vice versa. Now, going back to how do we handle, you know, social commitments or, you know, business commitments that we've had when we're not seeing eye to eye, we've made an pact and understanding that your integrity, you said you would be there. And regardless of what's going on here, you said you would be there and you said you would show up and you said you would give value and you made this commitment when all was hunky and dory. But now that we're a little out of hunky and dory, why are you not showing up? Why are you not doing what you said you would do? And that just didn't happen overnight. That definitely, there was kabooms after it. There was many times where I was hosting spaces myself or David was hosting spaces himself. And we finally realized, look, we can play these childish games between us, but we're hurting our community and our business when we do this and we don't show up. And so a lot of times it's funny. There'll be times we'll be hosting rooms and David and I might not be on the same page that day, but yet you guys would never know because we have been able to understand business is business, personal is personal. Our personal does not belong in our business forums or open forums and vice versa. And that's just kind of how I see it. Mr. Jones, what do you want to add on to it? What about
Before he adds on, I'm so sorry. There's a lot to unpack there because I think that we as women can really get catty like that sometimes. I have seen it. I'm sure I've done it. And that's when, you know, you said stay in integrity. Man, stay in integrity with yourself and for your audience because your community expects you to show up a certain way. And we have Akram Hassan joining us. Hello, Akram. Shout out to you. Thank you for joining in. If you have any questions for our power couple, please put them in the chat. We'd love to know your questions. And also you hit on the love languages. And I just want to kind of unwind that for people. It's important for people to understand. So there's 5 love languages. There is quality time, physical touch, words of affirmations, gifts, and also acts of service. Those are the 5 love languages. And I put them in that order because those are my love languages. Quality time, physical touch are important to me. Words of affirmations are really important. Those are like the top 3. And then gifts are important to me. They're nice to have. Acts of service don't really do a lot for me. If you do a lot of nice things for me, I'm kind of like, gosh, I should have done that for myself. Like it kind of plays that kind of a head game on myself.
Yeah.
But I really love the quality time, the physical touch, words of affirmation. So maybe a lot of people aren't familiar with that. So I love that you two have studied that and you understand each other's love language. And so that you don't take it personal. If he needs that time away, you understand it's not that he doesn't love you. It's not that he's not there for you. It's not that you're not the one. It's just that we need that time. And as entrepreneurs, I think that that time can just show up just on a spur of the moment.
Yeah.
It can just be like that. So I love what you shared, Ms. Tara. That was awesome. So now we're going to hear from Mr. Jones. Take it away, Mr. Jones.
In our relationship, in our business, we started out, understanding that a bad relationship doesn't work because we both, we met, playing flag football, and we both, had just got out of a horrible relationships, and we started out, hey, there's nothing serious here. We're just friends. We're just cool. And the next thing I know, I got this white girl rolling on my floor. During the NBA playoffs when I'm singing, stop, drop, and roll, and she's rolling on the floor.
It's a fire, stop, drop, and roll. You got a fire hazard.
And so, we've really been able to go through this mindset journey that most couples have not went through, and most couples aren't willing to go through, and being able to go to these events, being able to go to these mindset journeys and these seminars and get with a community that really wants more from you and, more for you in your life, and not be the bickering and the friends and all this other stuff that really gets caught up in that drama. And the one thing that me and Tara pride ourselves on is the openness within our relationship, right? She has my passwords to everything. I have her passwords to everything. And what we found is a lot of the times that doesn't happen in relationships. People are hiding their stuff. They're being, this way and that way. And they're wondering why life isn't working because you aren't working together. And this is something that we, especially right now, we are a digital nomads. And so we spend 24/7 hours a day with each other here in Guanajuato, Mexico, running our business and having our relationship. But it really comes down to communication, and this is something that we share a lot. And then also the 4 agreements and the 5 love languages. These are things that we even talked about yesterday for people that are in relationships to find out what their love language is, right? What their partner love language is. And I encourage you guys all to, when you're sitting down at dinner tonight and, go on your Instagram, go on, Google and find a quiz. And there's 10 question ones, there's 20 question ones, there's 100 question ones, and find out the love language and really being able to be aware of that. And then more importantly, us being able to hold our integrity. Every room that, you hear Tara and I in, it's love, it's kindness, and it's integrity, and it's commitment. And a lot of people talk about those things. And yes, we falter off of those things. We just faltered off of them, about a week ago, 12 days. And, it's being able to reinstore that integrity and reinstore our love and our commitment to each other, more importantly, and then knowing the gravity of the business and what the business is going to be able to do and has been able to do for us now and in the future. That's where we really, buckle down and say, hey, this is childish. This is traumas that we're dealing with. This is the same patterns that we're dealing with. This is the same drama that comes up. And this is the same pride that shows up in our relationship. And we both know right from wrong, right? We both know what we told each other. And this is where somebody shared the other day, in today's society, people are willing to, go find something else other than fix what's broke.
Yeah.
And so often, we're willing to cancel. We're willing to throw people to the wolves. We're willing to, lie and be disloyal and all these other things when it's really on us. And that's something that we, really focus on is, hey, what part did you play into, this, conversation and this argument? And how can you be responsible for what you did? As Tara said, these two thumbs, because so often we're looking at the other person of why they did this and why I reacted that way, when in all reality, it was me that responded that way. And that's something that we talk about a lot of the times, is how you react in life and respond in life, and the energy and the frequency and the vibration. And, something that I've been sharing with you guys all is being grateful. And you can't be angry and grateful.
Yeah.
You can't have fear and be grateful. Those combinations don't work, which is why it takes so much self-awareness to be able to understand where you are, which is why the meditation, the daily workouts, being in the right community is so important. And so often we allow these negative forces to impact our relationship, and especially talking to the wrong people to give us guidance on our relationship. And if you can't talk to the other person about your relationship, then you shouldn't be talking to nobody, especially somebody that doesn't have their stuff together, or they have their traumas that they now bring onto you. And now your mind is all confused, and here we go. And so that's one of the things that we really focus on, is not allowing outside forces to impact us, whether that's mother, father, sister, brother, cousin, friend, this, that, and the other, and really being able to have that conversations with ourselves.
Wow, that is so, so deep. Go ahead, Tara.
I was going to say, don't take it external, take it internal. Be able to, we, like David said, we're quick as ladies. I'm going to go talk to my girlfriends about this. I'm going to go talk to, whoever our confidants are, and men as well. And again, you have to look at the people that you're taking advice from, to understand, and the other thing is like, for instance, if you go and speak to your parents or your siblings or immediate family, that's really hard, because your immediate family is always going to love you because you're blood. They don't always have to love your partner. And if you're having a bad day and you go trash them, it's easier for you to forgive and move on, but they don't, and that was something I had to learn at a younger age. I'm not saying that that's what,